Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another of TTA's summer sessions. Today, we're joined by Yuekun Lee from Classin, and today his talk is on unlocking the full potential of online tutoring. As always, there will be time for questions at the end, but for now, I'll hand it over to Yuekun and we can go from there.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Julius. Thank you for your warm welcome and introduction. And good morning, everyone. My name is Yuekun. I'm the country manager for Classin here in the UK. First of all, I just wanted to say big thanks to TTA for sharing this stage and allowing us this opportunity to present our sharing and what we have learned working with tuition businesses. And also big thanks to everybody who are here today. I'm very overwhelmed by just their sheer number of you guys who have signed up and showed up today. So very grateful to have this opportunity to speak to you all. And hopefully you will find my sharing interesting and useful. So without further ado, just gonna share my screen here. If you can see my presentation, just press a thumbs up to let me know. Okay, perfect. We're all good. So let's get started. So today's topic is about unlocking the full potential of online tutoring. And you might be wondering, who are you, where are you from, and why are you talking to us about this? We are professional tutors here. And I totally agree. Actually, couldn't agree more. The reason why I'm here representing Classin to talk about how to unlock the full potential of online tutoring is because Classin has been an edtech unicorn that's been working with professional tutors for the last 10 years. So actually this year is our 10th year anniversary, and we are now one of the largest online classroom providers across the world, at the moment serving around 70,000 organizations and more than 50 million individual users around the world, primarily conducting online tuition. So this has been our profession for a long time, and we have covered a lot of geography, and we have seen a lot of different types of online learning services being provided throughout this decade. So we hope to share with you what we have learned working with different organizations, as you can see here, and perhaps some of it will prove to be useful or prove to be interesting for you to consider. So over the last 10 years, from what we have seen and what we have spoken about, we understand that, as a tutor, or I should say Classin's interpretation of the mission of a tutor is that we wanted to be the teacher the child never had, right? Or we wanted to be the teacher the child and the parents dreamed that they had. So three big things go into this. Number one is that as a tutor, we are constantly evolving, and we are now getting to a point where we wanted to evolve out of the weekly sessions and evolve into building a learning program and work with intention with the child so that we can actually support their holistic development, not just in subject matter, but also all around in their academic and in their academic life. So that's one. The second thing is obviously be professional. And be professional has a very rich meaning. And today we're mainly talking about building a professional environment for the child to feel like they are in a place of learning. And this is especially harder to achieve when we are moving our tutoring practices from a face-to-face environment to an online environment. So we're going to talk about how we can go about doing that. And last but not least, we wanted to have fun, because the actual experience of running these tutoring sessions or, providing feedback and maybe giving some extra activities for the child to complete in their own time really does make a difference. And so what we wanted to do is that we wanted to not only help children achieve good results, but we also want them to not suffer in the process of achieving those good results. So we wanted to share what are some of the things that we can do to make this process less painful and more sweet for the children, so that they feel like they're more inspired and encouraged to do more instead of feeling that this is a burden to them, and they simply are discouraged from taking further learning once they have finished their program with us. So let's go into the first part about building a program. Building a program is basically curating a learning process, and we believe that the process really matters. It's not about running those weekly sessions anymore. Yes, the weekly sessions are very, very important, and they constitute probably the majority of the time that we spend with the students directly. However, if we treat the weekly programs as independent sessions that we conduct, what we end up doing is that we're basically turning our online tuition service into kind of like a McDonald's type service. Whenever the students feel hungry, they will tune into the weekly sessions, and they'll decide on the spot what they wanted to get. And for us, we can only provide very uniformed responses, or not so much tailored help to them, because we're not so prepared and we simply don't know what to expect. Although this can be, many might argue that this situation will get better and better once we know the child for a longer time and build a rapport and understand them better and have a better relationship with their family. But it's one of those things that takes a good amount of time to come, right? So at Classing, what we believe is that if we can help tutors to build a learning program, or rather, if we can work together with a tutor so that the tutor will be able to have a good process, have tremendous amounts of preparation, and be able to deliver more, that way, going into the first few sessions, you will feel a lot more confident. And this way, if you're an independent tutor, is less likely that you will constantly need to do these kind of teaser or test lessons with different children, different family to find a good fit. And as an organization or agency, you will typically have much lower turn rate and much less turnover in terms of matchmaking the tutors and the children. So your overall operational efficiency will improve quite significantly. So when it comes to building a learning program, there are three things that we wanted to emphasize. The first one is to prepare more around the subject, right? Know your topics, be ready to explain, be ready to share resources, and be ready to provide guided practices. So that's number one. Number two is that, once you have prepared more, you will then be capable of delivering more. So share more content, do more activities for the students to take part in. And when I talk about doing activities, it's not just about, those on-hand guided activities that students will do within that 1 or 2 hours per week with you. But rather you will be able to, assign some homework or give them some tasks for them to complete throughout the week, so that they will be also slightly occupied in their own time throughout the week. Keep their mind active, keep their minds at work. And whenever they come back to you with, their results, make sure you provide timely feedback so that the increased amount of touch points will also help them feel motivated and, help them get more out of their entire, tuition experience with us. And the third part is that you should be able to expect more because you have prepared, you have delivered. Then the third part is that you should expect more initiative and effort from the students, and you absolutely should show them that you believe, and you should show them that you expect more from them. So utilize what we call these fragmented feedback as ways to showcase your belief and expectations in the child. You can really help cheer them on, and because they have opted in to take additional learning together with us, there's no question why we shouldn't expect them to go above and beyond and complete those little tasks that we send out to them, and expect them to work a little bit harder on things that they struggle with, so that we will be able to help them achieve better results. Yeah. So how do we go about building a program? This is, because we wanted to help tutors build programs, we wanted to build a tool that can enable you to basically build these programs much easier. So Classin is one of those things where we basically molded a learning management system into a video conferencing app. So outside of your weekly sessions, which is what you call the classroom over here, we have 7 other types of learning activities. So, every week before or after your lesson, you will be able to give out some homework for the students to take away. You will be able to give them some little quizzes or send them some recorded videos, like the Khan Academy style 5-minute capsules to explain a certain concept. Or you can even just share resources of, past paper questions or any kind of, useful slides or PDFs that you find on the internet, so that they will be able to do some more activities, do some more learning and practicing in their own time. So this goes, obviously, in order to put all of this together, in order to have a program, you absolutely need to prepare more. So get all of your materials in place and put them in a very structured manner. But once you have prepared it, then you will be able to deliver more to the students. And as you are delivering, as our activities are taking place, you should be able to expect more from the child, because this is a place where the tutors and the students will be able to get connected and work together. This is an all-in-one work desk where all of their lessons, all of their tasks are combined into one. So they'll constantly get notified that they have to-dos on their list. And as the tutor, whenever your students send in their results to you, the system also notifies you to give feedback. So what we hope to do here is that we hope to give you the right tools and give you the right structure, and hopefully our tutors will be able to make good use of them so that you can turn it into a very positive cycle and continue this with the students. And the more touch points you can build, the more positive, or should I say, the more feedback the students will receive. And obviously, the more feedback any individual receives, the more agile that person becomes in terms of adapting and evolving. So that is only natural for us to expect that the students would get much, much better results out of 6 or 12 weeks learning together with us. And as a result, their marks will go up, and their satisfaction will go up, and consequently, there's a higher chance that they will stick with us for more semesters and more years to come. So that is the idea behind why we need to build a program. And here we're showing you how you can build one. And obviously, if you want to take this up as a tool to build your own, you're more than welcome. So that's the first point. The second point is to be professional. And like I mentioned before, obviously, be professional has a lot of meanings. And in this case, we wanted to highlight the importance of having a professional environment and why the environment actually matters. Actually, according to a study that was done by Salford University back in 2016, it showed that different elements of learning, whether it's your parents, whether it is your teachers, or whether it is your learning environment, how much do they influence, or how much do they contribute towards the final learning outcome of students. And what they have found is that a welcoming and professional learning environment constitutes anywhere between 16 to 25% impact on learning results, following good teachers at 30 to 40% and good parents at 40 to 50%. So obviously, we cannot manufacture good parents, so we have to leave that to the side. And I trust that the people who are tuning in today are already qualified good tutors. So I wouldn't worry too much about that 30 to 40%. So from Classin's perspective, what we try to do is that we try to maximize the last 16 to 25% to help tutors and students to have a good learning environment. So you can see here, this is one of those spaces where you essentially tune in and you know exactly what you're doing, right? You know this is not a meeting place, this is a classroom. So you will be able to annotate on the board, you can write notes, and then you have different kind of facilities to help you run different type of lessons, whether it is STEM or whether it is literature, arts, so on and so forth. So a few things that we have built here with clear intention. Number one, the guiding principle is that we know a lesson is not a meeting, right? So what we wanted to highlight in an environment like this is not really how clear can you see each other's faces or how crisp the sound environment is. We know that those things are important and they are the baseline, but the most important part is actually what you are working on, the learning materials, the collaboration space. So a big portion of this screen turns out to be our collaborative whiteboard, right? And then we have built in more than 20 different learning tools inside so that you will be able to run multiple choice questions. You can run timed activities. And if you have group sessions, students have questions, they will be able to raise their hands, click on different parts and collaborate with each other. You can send out worksheets. And most importantly, and this probably becomes more relevant if we're working with younger students, is that you can turn on what we call the focus mode to ensure that the window is always hovering. The virtual classroom window is always hovering on top of their laptop or of their iPad screen, so that they wouldn't be able to switch out and go into, irrelevant websites or apps during that time that we spent with them, so that we can make sure that they're engaged. Although that's not, that kind of method is not always the preferred method, because we prefer and suggest that you use your charisma and your content to engage and attract the students' attention. But if you are in a position where you're running past paper practices, I think functions like this will come in pretty handy to help you, make sure their attention is fully on the material. So a couple of things that you will be able to do in this environment, and the reason why we call it a very professional environment is because we have curated this purely for tutoring purposes. So you can see on this animation right here, we have built a little cloud drive for every single tutor who uses this platform. So essentially you will be able to, recall and upload any of your materials, whether it could be PDF, PowerPoint slides, video, different kind of documents, present it into the classroom, make annotations, write notes on it, so on and so forth, so that you don't have to do what I'm doing right now, which is screen sharing. One of the biggest downsides that I personally face when I'm doing screen sharing with anybody on an online call is that the moment when I go into screen sharing, especially if I'm presenting a PowerPoint slide, I lose track of everything that's going on inside the conference call. At this very moment in time, I don't see a single one of your faces. If you don't talk back to me, I cannot hear your sound. And I'm just staring into the PowerPoint slide and talking into a screen, which obviously isn't ideal. So what we try to do on this classroom platform is that we try to avoid that situation. And our solution is that we avoid screen sharing altogether, and we allow people to upload their materials in here, and they will be able to modify their materials and work on it together in a collaborative space. And that's the idea. And if you already are a heavy user of things like Google Drive, there's good news for you, because we are connecting to Google Drive very soon. So in the future, you will be able to log into your Google account and open your Drive documents straight into the classroom, just the same as what we have demonstrated just right here. So the reason why we say that professional environment is very, very important, obviously it has very strong academic achievement elements in there, but academic achievement ultimately leads to, and this is very, very relevant for tutoring businesses, is customer retention, right? So what we have seen so far working with some of our biggest clients in the past, and these are, online tutoring businesses and agencies, what we have seen is that whenever they use a professional platform like ClassIn, they tend to have much higher conversion rates. And what I mean by conversion is that usually they would offer 1 or 2 test lessons as a gratuity gift to people who are interested in signing up to their programs. And then, the students and the parents would have the power to decide if they would like to stick with the program or not after those sessions. Before they started using a professional online tutoring, online classroom, they tend to have a much lower conversion rate compared to once they have adopted a tool like this. So that's number one. It helps you to keep your leads and convert them into actual customer accounts. Number two is that their completion rate tend to be higher. So we know that depending on how you run your business, a lot of times we allow families to top up packages, or we allow them to do batch purchases where they will be able to pay us a certain amount of fee to pre-book 10 or 20 sessions ahead of time. Now, when we run a program with a professional tool, what we see is that the likelihood of the students completing the sessions within the expected amount of time rises dramatically. So this is something that is really, really useful, because when we're running an online tuition business, we wanted to make sure that our clientele, our students, finish their lessons, finish their programs on time, so that they will be able to continue and sign up for a new cycle. This is directly related to, for business owners, the cash flow that you will be able to receive when you're running an online tutoring operation. And last but not least is about retention. So when you have different semesters and different exam seasons, especially we are in a position like that right now, when our students have just finished their exam season. So everyone is taking a breather. I'm sure all of you guys must have had a very, very stressful time just about a month ago. And now you're probably, going on holiday or coming back from holiday already. And this is the time when we are making preparations to see how we can best market our services to our students, to our families in the upcoming semester, so that they will be able to sign up again, or looking for new potential customers to sign up to our services. A big part of that is retaining the students that we already have, right? So when we have a professional environment compared to when we have a lesser environment, we find that with a professional environment, we can induce very, very high retention rates due to the fact that, we will be able to provide better learning facility, better learning experience, and better results. People tend to stick with us. Students tend to stick with the tutor, and families tend to trust that tutor more and or the organization more, so that the organizations and the individuals don't have to spend extra resources going out there looking for additional brand new clientele, developing new business leads and trying to convert them. Rather, they can just maintain what they already have, which is a much less effortful undertaking. So there's that. That's the second point. Be professional, having a professional environment. And the third point, and the last point, but definitely not the least one, is to have fun, because we believe that aside from having a good process, good preparation, and a good environment, you need to make best use of these in order to deliver a very, very good experience. Like I said before, we wanted to deliver good results for our students, and we also want the students not to suffer. So how do we make these learning experiences fun? A lot of times, I think, especially, parents, they might have this perception that, online tuition is not as good as face-to-face tuition, simply because the tutor is not there. And, when the tutors are not there, the students might not pay full attention, or, some of the points might be more difficult to come across. And it's just, there's barriers to how things can be explained and how the students will be able to understand those explanations, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And it forces us to perhaps charge on par, if not less, compared to what we could potentially charge for in-person sessions. Although that is slowly changing, but a lot of people still think this way. So what we wanted to help tutors do is to curate a brilliant experience in online learning so that we can be vibrant in almost any and every subject that we teach, and we can help the students to want to learn more together with us or individually, so that they will be able to have an enjoyable experience and also get good results out of it. A couple of things that we wanted to highlight here. Obviously, number one thing is very, very basic, is to basically induce the students to do more together with us. Definitely the opposite from what I'm doing here, which is just one-way broadcasting information to you guys. This is a typical textbook failure of online tuition. But obviously in our day-to-day practices, when we are running these sessions, the best thing to do is to utilize this interactive whiteboard and utilize the annotation features to collaborate on documents, collaborate on the board together with our students. Let them be the leader, let them show us how they solve questions, how they solve problems, and then we can jump in and help them whenever they run into difficulties. So that's one. Number two, and I think this is something that online tutoring actually has almost an unfair advantage compared to face-to-face tutoring, is that we will be able to pull up web-based resources and activities much easier compared to when we are sitting face-to-face together with a student. So definitely, make use of your browser. On Classroom, we have built in a browser inside the classroom, so you don't have to actually jump out of the classroom to go to the internet. Make use of your browser and use different websites and online resources to aid your session. I think this is becoming very, very common sense to you all. You guys who are sitting in here today probably have already been using this on a day-to-day basis, but I cannot stress this enough because this is very, very important. Go to different websites, pull up different kind of resources, pull them into your sessions, and it helps a lot. And better yet, if you can let your students collaborate on those resources, collaborate on those websites together with you, that will just make those lessons much more fun, much more interesting, and much more effective. And last but not least, hand out trophies. We designed this feature on Classroom where you will be able to, if a student answers a question correctly, you can just click the trophy button and there's a small animation coming out and the student gets a trophy. Initially, a lot of us think it was silly, and actually for our program engineers, they thought it couldn't be worse. They think it was just completely useless and nobody really took it seriously until we gone through the hurdle and put that trophy in, and we got tons and tons of positive feedback from people who are working with younger children to even people working with adults. The trophy sounds silly, but it actually does work. Whether it is in a one-to-one individual tutoring session, or it could be a one-to-many group tutoring session, it does work. When students are sitting with their peers and they start receiving trophies, obviously it brings out the competitive side of them so that they all wanted to participate a little bit more. But when you're in a one-to-one situation, just that little animation, it can't be with a student that's very young in their primary school years, or it can be a student, in secondary or sixth form. Even just the fact that it makes them laugh would be something that can help you to pull their attention back from time to time and make sure that they are paying more attention to you, more attention to our lesson during that 40 to 60 minutes that they spend with us. So those are more on the general side of things, but there's one thing I would like to specially introduce to all of you, is this STEM virtual laboratory that we have built into Classroom. And also, this is something that we found a lot of chemistry and physics teachers really, really loved. It's a virtual laboratory that's built on top of a video game engine, so you will be able to basically pull in different kind of equipments and materials, and you will be able to orchestrate your own physics and chemistry experiments in your online session. A lot of tutors tell us that this helps them to create a very good environment in the online tutoring space, because obviously not every single one of us have access to all the different equipments necessary to help our students directly understand certain things that we wanted to talk about, especially in the STEM subjects. So this proves to be quite a useful tool. And on top of that, if we allow our students to manipulate different things, it will just help them have a much more memorable time learning different points of knowledge with us, and they will certainly be able to recall it better when they go into examinations, or especially going into practical exams. So this library of experiments are aligned with the GCSE and A-level syllabus, and is currently made available to everyone using ClassIn. And if you're not using ClassIn and just wanted to try this out, you're more than welcome to get in touch with us later on. At the moment, we are looking for feedback. So we are about to officially launch this platform in the UK. So we are running a summer product evaluation project. If any of you are interested, or if any one of you are running an organization and you know some of your tutors might be interested, please do get in touch with us. We are offering a 2 months free trial access, and we wanted to get written evaluation from you, as well as a 1-hour feedback interview. Once we have done that, we're more than happy to extend a 1-year full access to the tutors who have participated to help us make this product better and make the virtual lab more accessible to our tutoring community. So this is an open call for participation for those of you who might be interested. But that about sums it all up. So the 3 points that we talked about today, prepare a program, be intentional, and prepare your environment, be professional, and last, prepare your facilities and just have fun with the students. Those are the 3 points that we have learned from tutoring practitioners like yourselves over the past decade, to really help elevate and maximize the facilities of online tutoring sessions with our students. And perhaps if you follow those principles and apply it in your day-to-day practice, we believe that this will definitely help you maximize the achievements and obviously the business success of your own online tutoring operation. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask right now, or you're more than welcome to get in touch with us after the session. Our email address is uk@classin.com. Feel free to drop us a line if you have any questions or you're interested to learn more about what we do. And yeah, look forward to speaking and answering your questions. Thanks, everyone.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Yuekun. As always, that was really insightful and really detailed. And it was great overview of ClassIn and how people can unlock their full potential using the system. So as Yuekun said, he is open for some questions now. We've got some time until the end of the session. So if anyone wanted to ask any questions now, please feel free to put your hand up or jump straight in. And Yuekun, I'm sure, will be more than happy to answer them. We've got a couple of bits of feedback in the messages. I think Georgina was very impressed by the virtual labs, and Daniela said, thank you, very useful session. And Penny Meadows has just said, can you just show the last slide again about the free access for a month?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let me just... Right, so I think I must have clicked over one of the slides. So this is actually one of the TTA member benefits that we have pledged when ClassIn first joined the TTA membership. I believe, Penny, this might be the one that you are looking for. Yeah, so currently we have two things going on. So one thing is that for those of you who are interested in using the Classroom platform to basically, do your day-to-day learning management and your virtual lessons, any TTA member is entitled to basically get 1 month full access as a free trial, and that includes the virtual lab that we spoke about at the end. Is a bigger system, and we will offer you dedicated onboarding sessions for both administrators and tutors. So it doesn't matter if you're an independent tutor or if you are a tuition business, we have something for you. And obviously paid users, when you subscribe, you receive also 24/7 tech support services. So we'll put you in touch with our online agents. So if you have any technical questions, they will be able to answer your concerns. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Yuekun. And as Yuekun mentioned, this is accessible for TTA members. So if you are a TTA member and you want to find out more about it, please feel free to get in contact with either myself or one of the team. And if you're not a TTA member and you are interested in becoming one, again, feel free to drop us an email and we'll be more than happy to assist you in becoming a member. Amy was also wondering, is there a capability to record the sessions?
Yes. So for everyday free version users of Classin, you have the option to basically record the session onto your private device. So it's almost like you're recording your screen. Whereas if you are a paid user of Classin, the system offers you the capability of recording the session online and automatically converting the session into a replay link after the session has finished. So that so this plays into the part where I spoke about in the beginning, why it's important to build a program. It's so that your students will have the option to then review all the past lessons that you have taken together with them. So that they will be able to know exactly which session is about what topic and what subject. That will prove to be much, much more helpful and provides better utility. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Yuekun. And Anna Ambika said, very useful session, and she also has a question. So I'll hand over to Anna now.
Hi, Yuekun. Thank you so much for incredible, useful presentation on your product. My question is, it may be a bit specific, but can you actually set up the breakout rooms? And when the students are in the breakout rooms, say, for example, we had a class of 8 students, would you be able to see what they are working on individually in the screen option? So on the master screen, when you popped into one student's working, they, for example, are watching a particular lab or a particular video, or they're working on a quiz, would you be able to see that on your master screen? I know it's very specific, but it's how I work.
Hi, Anna. Yeah, well, first of all, it's great to see you after a while, and thank you for your very kind comments. And to your question, yes, absolutely. So our breakout control panel almost works in a very similar manner to like a CCTV screen, right? So you will be able to see what's going on the board in different rooms. However, understanding that our tutors usually just use regular home-based computers to do online tutoring sessions, the CCTV screen of each breakout room doesn't refresh as often as we want it to be. So it's more of a static screenshot that gets refreshed every minute. And this is because we don't want your computers to lag or crash during your running of the breakout sessions. But in a nutshell, yes, you will be able to see roughly what's going on. And you have the option to jump into different rooms to collaborate with the students. Yeah.
Perfect. And one more quick one to add off that, otherwise I need to book an individual session with you, is you talked about the program build and that each student would have a program of activities that we as professional tutors would build. And that's exactly how I work for, the last 30 years. But when we do that in the online space, I would normally have that on my Zoom chat. How is that working through Classin?
Right. So on Classin, that's where we step into the realm of learning management rather than just having weekly sessions. The reason why we say that you need to build a program is because what we found is that the things that students do outside of those 1 hour per week sometimes can be more important than what they do with us during that hour per week. So the program itself is basically additional assignments or quizzes or past paper practices that they can do in their own time, which allows them to do additional practice. And them doing that practice also allows us to better prepare for the week ahead, so that we know what to expect in that session, and we can better lead the discussion during that hour or two to have more, directed impact on their learning. So that's the idea of building a program, is essentially having multiple touch points throughout the week. And on Classin, it works in a way that because it is a program or application that's available on both laptops and also on tablets as well as mobile phones, the students will essentially be able to receive notifications whenever the tutor assigns them a specific activity to do or a piece of homework. And then they will be able to check it on their phone, on their computer, whenever they're free. They will be able to make responses to you, either in a written form. So if I write down stuff on my notebook, what I can do is that I can turn on my Classin app on my phone, take a picture of what I have written down, and upload it to you, so that you don't necessarily have to do all of your work on your computer. You can actually do it on a piece of paper, but convert it into a computer-friendly format so that you can communicate better with your students, and vice versa. Your students will be able to also do that for the tutors. So when the students complete their tasks, tutors will be notified through the Classin app, and then you will be able to provide feedback. And it's a constant back and forth to basically notify each other so that all of these tasks can be done in quite a seamless manner. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's actually bringing a whole realm of different activities together to solidify their knowledge and heighten their knowledge in that particular struggle or area they were, struggling with, to actually consolidate that a lot more. So that's a great approach. So when they log in, they will actually see that update in the session as well. So that's fantastic to hear. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah.
Great, thanks for the question, Anna, and for the answer, Yuekun. We've got two more questions, one from Penny, and then we've got one from Georgina in the chat as well. So Penny, did you want to ask your question next?
Yeah, thank you. This has been really interesting. My question is about building a program, because at the moment I'm just a one-man band. I'm by myself tutoring, but everything's sort of in different files on paper and on the computer, and this building a program sounds really good. Your onboarding, how much onboarding training do you give for this?
So for us at the moment, we are happy to give every tutor. So if you work as an independent tutor, we will be able to offer you minimum 2 hours of onboarding time. So usually we split it into 2 1-hour sessions. The first session is essentially to give you a quick walkthrough of the Classin application and help you get the app and get installed and registered, so that you are ready to access the platform. And the second call is really to help you, set up your class cohorts and, maybe do a test build of a simple program, so that you're familiarized with the different things that you can achieve with this platform. Obviously, the platform itself, if you wanted to achieve the full capacity of it, is a long-term process. So we'll leave it up to the tutors themselves to explore as they go along. But what we will promise you is that we will make sure that you know how to do the basic things to get yourself going. And that's where the tech support also comes into play, is because if you ever have any questions when you're using more advanced features, they will be there to help you answer questions. We call it tech support, but they actually extend beyond tech support, because traditionally we believe tech support is just when you run into technical problems. They're there to fix a problem. But our support team actually also help you with daily usage support. So if you're not sure about how one particular function works, they will be able to actually send you infographics to show you a very simple guide to how you can use certain functions to help you with online tutoring. So
okay, that's interesting. Thank you. And also, because I haven't seen something like this before, can we look at what other people have done? Because it's very hard to know what you can do until you see what somebody else has actually done.
Yeah, 100%. So actually, Classin has a very vibrant kind of user community, both on Facebook and also on the Classin, itself. So I suppose if you guys are interested, what we can do is that we can send out some individual invites to you to join some of those communities and see what those tutors have done in the past. A lot of tutors like to share their materials, and some of them even make a business out of it. They're able to sell their lesson materials to each other and commercialize their work. So if you guys are interested, you're more than welcome to explore that. So Penny, if you wanted to know more about this, you can send us an email to uk@classin.com, and I'll be able to share some links to those different Facebook pages or communities that you're interested in.
Okay, thank you. That was really helpful. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Penny and Yuekun. And one other question, Yuekun, from Georgina. Is it possible to efficiently copy a successful lesson built for one class student into another class student lesson?
Yes, 100%. So because learning management system is not new, and we understand that a lot of teachers probably have used other platforms to run their learning management. So Classin, number one, if you have previously designed courses or programs on other platforms, you will be able to download them as a packaged SCORM file and then unpack it onto Classin. So that's the number one thing that you can do. If you have accumulated stuff on Moodle-based or Canvas-based platforms, just go ahead and do that on Classin, and you will have your entire program unloaded onto Classin very quickly. If you have built something from scratch on the Classin platform itself, you will be able to basically multiply it and apply it very quickly by one click to multiple class cohorts that you have designed for different students. So typically what a lot of tutors on Classin do is that they will basically build one course that is the foundational template for a specific subject at a specific year level that they tutor. And whenever they have new students, they will have an onboarding session to understand where the students are at and what part of that program need to be emphasized, so that they will be able to then do some modifications on that base program and then just apply it to them. So that's a bit of a long-winded answer, but long story short, yes, you can. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Yuekun. So Alistair said, very interesting session, and he will get in touch to join up with the evaluation. And Sunday's also asked, is it possible to register from Nigeria to use Classin, and is there any difference in the onboarding or requirements for it?
Yeah, so Classin is available to users worldwide, and we actually have a good number of users on the African continent using Classin to run their teaching and learning. So absolutely, you're more than welcome Sunday to register and join us on the Classin community. All you need to do in terms of signing up as a Classin user is just to download the application from our website, classin.com, and sign up with your email address or your Google account, and you're ready to go.
Perfect. Are there any final questions before we bring this session to a close? I think that's it. There's been some really good feedback, Yuekun, and you've provided some really good answers to the questions that were asked as well. For anyone who hasn't had a look yet at the rest of the summer sessions we've got throughout July and August, TTA is running several sessions almost daily throughout that whole 2 months. So please take a look at the schedule, and if there's anything of interest, please do sign up. And As Yuekun has said today, if you want to get in contact with him after this session, please contact him on uk@classin.com. And if you want to contact TTA for any reason, whether it's to sign up or whether it's any questions to follow up from the session, you can contact me at info@tutorsassociation.org.uk. Perfect. So thanks so much everyone for joining. Have a lovely day and hope to see you soon.